once I was like lecturing about our lack of free will to one of the most like implicitly unreceptive audiences on earth out there, a bunch of judges who
Mm.
like wanted to learn what's new with the brain. And I went through all these studies that are out there about extraneous factors that influence judicial decisions. And one that's very sort of well known and much debated, but I believe in fully because of the rebuttals the authors have come up with, which is as judges get hungrier, they become less open to giving an understanding decision with respect to a defendant. But then there's studies showing that if you're very hungry, you become much nicer to defendants if you're Muslim and it's Ramadan because you're hungry because you're fasting. Then there's another one that shows that judges are slightly less punitive if they find out it's the defendant's birthday. Whoa, how cool is that? Because that's some sort of like compromise between two principles. Dangerous people in society should pay for what they've done, and like, wow, we should be nice to people on their birthdays. So, like, judges unconsciously, on the average, balance it out. So, half a year less on the sentencing kind of thing. So, I'm going through that, and this judge says, that's fascinating. But let me tell you, last week I had a case where, like, it seemed cut and dried. It's obvious what I was going to decide the next day, and it was totally clear. And it's funny, that night, I wondered if I'm getting a little bit sort of stuck in my ways. And wow, I used to be very different when I was younger. And like maybe I'm not as on solid ground as I think. And I really stopped and thought about it and thought through. I thought about how this guy wound up the way he was, and I also thought about the and I kind of surprised myself. I made a different decision the next day. Are you telling me? And I say, where the hell did you get that self-reflection? Where did you get a view of your younger self where some of your flexibility then is something you might feel nostalgic about? Where did you get the ability to view changing your opinion as a good thing rather than as a challenge? Where did you get the sense that if everybody the next day, starting with a bailiff, is expecting you to do the usual thing, and you come in and you say the opposite, they're going to say, oh God, what's happened with him? Is he, but where did all of those things come from? And why would like maybe the judge sitting next to you in the seminar room not have done the same thing? That didn't happen by chance. Most people would not have been self-reflective at that point. Most people would have, that didn't happen by chance, that's who you wound up being.